Hey, welcome to the almost daily, but pretty frequent vlog, my art business vlog for January 2023. It was a good month. I really enjoyed putting this together. I wanted to do like a minute a day vlog and started kind of strong, but that fizzled out. But instead, what I have done is I've taken the days that I have kind of day-to-day footage of and included those, but I also go over some of the goal setting that I did for January and how that turned out for my art business. I'm still feeling really inspired for the year, and I hope you do too, and I hope that this vlog actually helps you get there. So with that, let us jump right into the content.
At the end of the year, I wasn't quite feeling super energetic, and I just wanted to do something calming and beautiful. So I got one of these dot cards. I have never tested them before, and I enjoyed the process so much. Just seeing how that pigment flows, just seeing tons of different colors that you don't own. It was so much fun, and it really did bring me back to feeling completely excited to get started, to be creative. So it's a huge tip for you if maybe you're in a tiny artist rut. So, I went back then on January 5th. I finally had time to really use the dot card and try out some of the paints. And this is actually attempt number 2 at this very painting. You may have seen the first one in the December vlog, and I don't like number 2 either. I'll catch you up and tell you all about my goals for the next few months in a few minutes later in this vlog. But first, here are a few shots of some sketches I did for a new project that's part of those goals. And then the next day, on the 7th, trying attempt number 3 to get this painting, to get this set of roses right. And I think you just need to show this on social media because it's not always one and done. It's not always easy, but attempt number 3, and I love it. That excitement carried over into the next day because when I create a beautiful painting, I feel that much more inspired to keep going and keep trying. So I created 2 more little pieces for the tea towel design, and honestly, it's working so much better because I let go of one of the biggest pressure points I was putting on myself, and that was that originally I had wanted to create one giant, relatively complicated piece. And it's so easy to mess up for me with watercolor, and it just wasn't working. And so instead, I decided to paint the individual elements and just then mash them together into one design in Procreate. And ever since I took that pressure off myself, it is working. So I have basically 3 goals that I want to achieve over the next year in 2023. But I've actually decided that even though those are kind of my Northern Star guiding forces, I'm going to just focus on the first quarter of the year as far as setting actual measurable goals and creating plans and to-do lists from those. So one of the real core moving or motivating forces for me this year is that I want to monetize my art business. I want to make sure that it truly is a profitable business and that it is something that helps sustain my family. I think it is important because otherwise this remains a hobby. So that means that I'm looking to make a profit off of several different angles of my artwork or what I do as an artist. So the very first thing is that I want to monetize my art. And my first goal for that is because, of course, you know that for artists to, have a sustainable income, because it is so unpredictable and often it takes so long to gain traction, that you want to have multiple income streams set up. But I also think that focusing on one at a time is a very smart thing to do. So I don't want to spread myself too thin and try to achieve 20 different things at once. So for the first quarter, my goal is to create specific projects that I then plan to sell as is, as original artwork, or create a product out of that I can then use when I launch my online shop. So that is my goal of monetizing the art itself. And I'll tell you a tiny little bit more about what projects I'm thinking of for that. The second part about monetizing my work as an artist is that I really, really want to monetize YouTube this year. So I have had this channel since like 2020, and it's fair to say I was not consistent for a long time. But I really do enjoy making videos, and I have found that I want to be able to help you as a fellow artist, because I have found it so helpful when artists share candidly. They share behind the scenes, they share their numbers, they share their goals, they share their tips and tricks, they just share how they go about their own art business. And yet I also know that because I'm still kind of at the beginning of things, that I do not have that much expertise to share. So what I've found is that these artist interviews where I can get people that may be more experienced than me, maybe less experienced than me, but just have a different set of experiences, that this has been very well received and very helpful to you. And that is my main goal with this channel. I want to entertain, yes, but also really I want to build community and help you, because I feel like when I was growing up, figuring out how to be an artist was so difficult. And yeah, I hope it helps you to share those interviews. So that is one of my big goals, is to also be more consistent. I have a whole schedule of the interviews and little monthly vlogs like this that will hopefully move me past that breaking point, so to say, where I can finally monetize the channel as well and have that as an additional income stream. So that is my second goal for 2023. And then, yes, you may have heard me saying in the December vlog that I've been working on creating a product, launching a company with a friend of mine. Originally, we thought it would be in the baby product space. At this point, it's actually become a big question mark, but my goal is to hopefully launch that, really finalize the product, the samples, get everything manufactured, and get going in 2023 sooner than later. Or worst case scenario, at least, well, that's not the worst case, or shut it all down, because worst case scenario is it drags on for another year or two and we keep investing money and don't actually really get to a point where we can launch and monetize the whole process. So that is my third big goal for the year. And now I'm going to show you here in Notion how I break that down into more actionable steps. When I sat down to record that video and talk you through my first quarter goals, the video got all messed up. I don't know what happened there technically, but I will have to redo that. So instead, here you see some more progress that I made on the tea towel project. I kept it really loose in this painting, which is something I usually don't do, but I really enjoyed the result. But here's a story for you. So in December, I told you we had received the samples of product that we had been working on for many months, and I was so excited to open the package. But what you didn't see is when I did, it was kind of a total disappointment. So my business partner and I decided that, you know what, you're gonna have to pack your bags, take your baby, take the pram, take everything, and make your way on this 8-hour round trip and attend an official trade fair to go meet that manufacturer. So we went to a home textiles trade fair over in Frankfurt, and I am so glad we did, because it was so incredibly worth it, and I have a hope for this product again. We did it. So this is life with a small kid. I'm going to do a really quick sweep, basically probably pile it all out of view of the camera so that I can get the live stream started, which is in, I don't know, I got like 30 minutes left to clean up myself and make sure there's no food in my teeth, and I have makeup on because that's just how I feel best. And then, just make sure I have a few minutes to sit down and really think about what I wanted to say in the intro to the live stream, make sure I have all the technical pieces down, because
yeah, I've only done it, this is my 5th time, so I still have to try each time to look at the instructions and be like, okay, click this, click this, click this. It's not that complicated, the StreamYard thing, but yeah, if you're not doing it every day, it's just going to take some time to get really natural at it. So that's what I'm up to for the next half an hour or so, and I hope that you have been watching the live streams. Like I said, we've done 5 so far, or today is the 5th, so by the time you watch this, we will have 5, 6, maybe even 7 already on the books, or done and dusted, and then more coming. So it's so much fun, but I get this kind of nervous energy because it's live and it's people that usually I haven't talked to. All these artists seem incredibly nice and knowledgeable and friendly, but for a lot of them, I have not had a conversation in person before, and they don't know each other often, so yeah, you never know what you're going to get, and it's exciting and thrilling and one of my favorite things, but also, it's a challenge, and I think it's good to dive into those things, and I'm rambling, so I'm going to stop. Point is, I get nervous, but it's fun.
So I want to create these in a hexagon shape, and I have a sample of a little picture frame that is coming pretty soon. It's in the mail, and I have 2 different sizes of stamps that I want to test. Now, this is a little scary to do. I'm definitely nervous, but here goes. Let's have a look. Hey, that's not too bad. Not perfectly centered. That's going to be tricky. Yeah, I think this is going to work out when I fiddle with the details. All right, attempt number 2. Now I'm definitely nervous because this one is one I don't really want to lose. 3. Here's the moment of truth. Dun, 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 dun. Come on out. It has been a very, very productive January, and not an incredibly stressful January. Just like really getting the things done, making progress on the goals I've set for myself. And that is such a beautiful feeling. And other than that, there's all these other projects that I want to tackle with like email newsletters, updating my website. We have the company that I'm starting with my friend after I went to the trade fair. We met up. We had a really, really great business meeting. We figured out a new product that we want to test. So we're trying to figure out designs, measurements, and then eventually get those to the manufacturer to go through a whole new series of pricing things out, looking at the market as well. And if we go with this product, the dimensions are much bigger than the original one, which we had decided is not going to work for us. After all, the issue is a combination of the fabric and my art style that just is a no-go after we saw the samples, and the manufacturer agreed it's just not good enough, but my art can look great on a different type of textile. So we're going to change the product. But then we might have to look into like a fulfillment center as well, storage, like all these things make it that much more complex.
So we have the setup now. I'm going to be looking at my screen where I see the Notion template, and I'm going to do a little screen recording so that you are looking at the exact same thing. In the end, the thing that has helped me by far the most is just to have everything in a single view. So to bring in everything from my different goals and projects and just put it in a very simple calendar. So that's what you see here. Some tasks where I know it's not like it doesn't need to get done on a certain day, but I want to have a certain span that it gets done within. And then I will indicate that just like I did here with the paintings for the tea towel. So it's like January 8th through January 21st is the time I gave myself. And you can see it has been marked as done, but the way it shows up on the calendar is just that it goes across these 2 weeks. And it's something that I always need to keep in the back of my mind of. I don't need to be working on every single day, but I need to be working on it, otherwise I'm not going to get it done within those 2 weeks. So that did really happen. And the next steps then are to digitize it, which I also got done this month, to find a potential supplier who can print and sew the tea towels. I have one in mind right now. And to communicate with them about the sampling process. And I have also started that. I just got the invoice today. I'm going to pay that after I finish recording. And then hopefully those samples will go into production. So yeah, that's the first project I was working on. And then you see a lot of things that are more recurring. Certainly things like, every time I do a podcast, usually that's twice a month, but this month it was actually 3 times. So it goes with kind of this routine of a lot of outreach to find some artists to participate, find the right artists to participate that also can make that date. Then I work on like a rundown of what they can expect, including the potential questions. Then when they get me their info back, I send them like the graphics and things, and then I get it uploaded, I tease it on social media. There's all these different steps. So you see those are, they just kind of recurring. And then there are some other things here, like it says 3 rose paintings, 1 to 3. So there's this potentially big project I wanted to do of painting 24 roses. That is then split across the next few weeks. Like you see here, rose paintings 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, 10 to 12. You also see I haven't filled out my calendar for February. So that is going to happen here within the next few days. Mulling over that, probably going to go and specialize on a few tea towel designs first, but I might also do this little rose project. So TBD, I'm waiting on the frames. They should be here any day now. Unfortunately, they didn't make it in January, but they are on the way from the UK. And then I can decide, whether that's something I want to do. I have, oh my goodness, no, oh no, the perfect one that I really liked. It has like a little spot on it. Are you serious? Anyway, it looks a little something like that. Come on, get that focused. There you go. And, sorry, is that where I'm looking? Anyway, I actually really, really like this idea of doing 24 individual paintings, but I just have to see whether that is going to make financial sense as an investment as far as then making these like sellable. Oh, okay. Honestly, there are some things I didn't get done. So one of the things that I really want to do is redesign my website. I did start, let me pull that up really quickly. I did start also working with Flowdesk and coming up with like an opt-in form for an email newsletter, which I have not yet started, but that was a goal for January. So I have the opt-in form ready. This is how it would look, most likely, on desktop, and this is how it would look. Hello. There we go, on mobile. So I think that's super cute. And then I've also been working on like the first email newsletter, basically just the template, not the content of it yet, but trying to figure out. And you can see here, even I was working on like a logo redesign that I'm super happy with. So definitely things have been happening on that front, but I didn't get half as far as the goal I had set for myself. That's honestly the one thing that I'm going to have to absolutely carry over into February. That just did not happen. But I am still pretty content, because if that's the one thing and everything else, every single thing as far as making sure I get enough time to paint, making sure I finish the tea towel painting, digitizing it, getting it to a printer for sampling, the trip I did to Frankfurt and continuing with our potential company there with the manufacturing, and at least making some progress on the idea of a newsletter and the associated research, and then doing 3 YouTube interviews. Hey, I mean, yeah, that is a solid performance for me within the time that I'm given.
I feel like I have had a very efficient, effective, productive, and joyful January, and I wish the same for you. Join me again. Make sure you subscribe so that you get all those helpful interviews that I host and that you can catch the next vlog, which will, of course, be for the month of February. Let's see what happens.